Is that actually that? You literally turned to me right as we're going live, but we're here.
He's
we're
just
talking
confused.
about.
He's confused as he always is.
Welcome in to another
very exciting
Wednesday edition of the PHNX Rising
Brady and
podcast.
that in the attack.
Nice. Appreciate you joining us here on another Wednesday. We are back. We're talking another Rising match. A little bit of a snoozer of a performance, but it is what it is. We're here to bring your spirits up. I am Max, the ad man, Simpson on my... That's crazy. On my right, screen left, it is Rees, the glizzy guzzler, the hot dog helper, hot dog heaver, sausage spewer, the Frankfurt finisher. He
didn't finish. That's kind of the point.
Very
Two
true.
and a half.
We didn't count the half.
Probably some more on there as well. But yeah, all those things. Goodall, how we doing?
Well, I spent my 4th of July watching Rising play against Lexington, and yeah, that's the worst performance of the season, maybe?
Worst performance of the season so far.
So far.
And to my left, your right, it is the one, the only Owain, the Oracle Evans.
I still don't really know where that nickname came from that you started giving it to me, but it's just
a bit
kind of stuck now.
But it has...
Actually, no. I actually do have the origin of kind of the inspiration. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you because it's going to drive you insane.
Is it literally because it starts with an O?
No, it's not. I mean, that helps, but no, that's actually not why.
It straight up is. This guy's just pretending to
Promise
be
you it's not.
mysterious.
Promise you it's not.
Reese, what do you think? Do you believe him?
Yeah, he pulled out a dictionary, went to O.
Actually, here,
Just went to O.
we're sidebar real quick.
This makes terrible content, by the way. Like, Shaney right now is just shaking his head. Hi, Shane, by the way. How you doing? Behind the Mac there. I know that's gonna.
Okay,
that's gonna really
fascinating.
wind up
you can
Max.
actually check.
It's not Max's fault at the end of the
What are
day.
we listening to right now?
Oh,
we
of course,
listening
and we
to
got
right
the
now?
mustache behind the Mac. It is the belated birthday boy, Shane Diefenbach. Shane, how are we?
It's been about a week, so.
Yeah, is that related at that point?
What is the time limit? Please, anyone in the chat. What
To
is
be
the time
fair,
limit on
that's
belated?
about how
Like
late
three
I
or
It's my
expect
belated
Max
birthday
to
too.
wish
Like
someone
1 to 4
happy birthday.
days.
1 to 4
Yeah.
days. 1 to 4 days. I guess it has been a week. Yeah, you're right. My belated birthday, rescinded. You're welcome. Yes, he's happy with that. We got Albert in the chat. What's going on? We got Devon all. Everyone, leave a like on your way in here. We got the stuff to talk about, right? Let's talk about that.
What are we talking about?
Well, you know, this is the PHNX Rising podcast. Might as well talk about Phoenix Rising.
Should we?
Unfortunately.
Do we have to?
We do.
Do we have to? After
There
all
were no
three?
fireworks on the 4th of July.
Good,
for
'cause they're
Phoenix
next to an
Rising.
airport.
Well, that's part of it. But
I
also,
mean, you don't really want fireworks next to an airport
in the
runway, do
metaphorical
you?
sense of on
A bit dangerous.
the pit. Well, they did a helicopter last night, but that's besides the point. There were no metaphorical fireworks on the pitch either. Phoenix Rising losing, I dare say, a little bit of a snooze fest. 1-0 in their loss to Lexington SC. Guys, you're watching that. It's one of those.
Yeah, we were,
yeah, we all were. Where Phoenix Rising, they had for every bit of half chances that they may or may not have had, and you're looking at the previous matches where, hey, they're scoring 5 goals, they're scoring multiple goals. You're thinking you can always count on this team to at least deliver a consistent output of quality chances, if not goals, over a stretch of 90 minutes. That wasn't it.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
8 shots, none of which ended on target.
Not great. Not great.
It was very stagnant and slow in the final third. It reminded me a lot of that opening game against Tulsa where we had a few worries about the team. But again, that was the first game of the season. This is the 15th.
Oh.
And looking like that, in Lexington weren't particularly good either. Rising very well could have taken advantage of how poor Lexington were themselves in the final third. Because if Lexington were really half decent in the final third, This game is 3-0 realistically because
yeah.
Lexington had quite a few chances. I mean, there was one late on where I can't remember who it was for Lexington, but he was one-on-one with Patrick Rakowski. He hits the shot into the side netting. Rakowski doesn't even touch it.
No.
And that's an opportunity where Lexington could have buried it. Obviously, Rising didn't do enough to create chances themselves, but when Lexington plays that bad, you need to take advantage.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing about Phoenix Rising this season, we think about it and how they've performed, it really feels like this is somewhat of a Jekyll and Hyde team. And you don't know on any given week what you're going to get, necessarily. Overall, this is a team that scores goals. They are pretty exciting on their day. They have some good attacking players in that team. And yet, at the same time, Phoenix Rising put up 0 shots on target against Lexington at home. Earlier in the season, they put up 0 shots on target in a Jägermeister Cup game against San Antonio FC. Rising hasn't done that in any competition prior to this year since 2016 under the name Arizona United.
Oof.
Yeah. They went 8 straight seasons without having a single game, no matter how bad things were, no matter how much they'd struggle sometimes in front of goal, without ever going without a shot on target in a match. And that's something that we've seen twice this season. And it's bizarre because I genuinely do feel like you think about this team in the whole, and they are better in the attack than we'd seen at times last year. But when they're at their worst,
it's not even a comparison, I don't think.
But they have these games where you just look at it and go like, you're finding a new depth that we haven't seen before. You're digging deeper than we've gone before. And it may only be one game. And that's how it was with San Antonio. They didn't repeat that the next game, right? It's not like they had a real run there necessarily of bad games. But it's just one of those things where you look at it and go like, look, I know it's something that Pa sometimes says, he looks and goes, it's just football sometimes. Sometimes that's the way the game goes. You have games like that. But the point is that this team hasn't had games like that historically. When this club goes 8 seasons without those, and then you have 2 at the start of a season, in the first half of a year, you do question it a bit. It's like, okay, obviously there are elements here whereby this team is going to work on things. They're going to get better. There have been changes to the lineup and rotations and all of those things that kick in that do kind of maybe force you back a little bit in terms of your performances. But at the same time, you do have to ask a few questions about that because there are levels to how bad you are, and not putting a shot on target,
not great,
with the caliber of personnel this team has, does raise questions.
I mean, unless you're open for an own goal, it's kind of hard to score.
It's not going to happen, is it? That's the point.
It's kind of tough. I mean,
own goals don't count towards the Golden Boot tally, Max.
That's true. That's again clarification for people. I won my Golden Boot fair and square. Yeah, 100%.
Max Simpson, big Golden Boot guy.
Big Golden Boot guy. Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree. I mean, I do think that this attacking unit is miles above last season, with all due respect. So I don't even think there is a comparison. I mean, to your point, though, this is definitely a new depth. To your point, going on a 9-year difference. I mean, I do trust this team. I do give them the benefit of the doubt to at very much not have. I mean, I certainly do not expect a clunker of a performance quite like this in the next match. But even for an extended period of stretch, I think they've seen, to your point, they're able to rebound. They're able to have a nice attacking output. I think the thing that we haven't seen, though, is in times where they have struggled a bit offensively, this isn't where, it's just a game where no one's getting it going. To your point, Rees, Lexington very much could have put up multiple goals on their own end. It's not like this was it's a cagey match and everyone's getting stuck in and neither side could find a way. This really could. We've seen this a couple times before. Rising maybe can be good for a goal or so, but this was another one of those matches where it could have gotten way more uglier than it ended up being.
And you really have to. I mean, it's really not because of Patrick Rakowski. It's not like he was tested. It's just Lexington were so bad in the final third. Yeah. And again, looking at what Rising did themselves in the final third, I think just the main thing that stood out to me is it felt like everyone was hesitant, not just to make a pass, but to make a run. It felt like everyone was waiting for someone else to make a run. So then whoever made that run, the next player would go and occupy that same space. And it just felt like we were seeing that time and time again when Rising were getting into the final third, which is pretty much exactly what we saw last season at long times until Jearl Margaritha came in, who quite frankly didn't have a good match last Friday when really he should have been the only spark for Rising.
Mm-hmm. Should we have a listen to Pa-Modou Kah's thoughts from earlier today on the match?
Might as well.
We were not up to our best, and we didn't have a shot on goal. So we haven't had that since San Antonio here at home in the Jägermeister Cup. So it's the second time that we haven't scored a goal, but it's okay. Are we stressing? No. It was one of those performances. But there was also a lot of good things in there, but we just were not to what our standard is.
What were the good things, whether it be on ball or off ball?
No, I think our back line, we addressed it where to push the line up higher. There were some great moments that we could play through. I think if we had scored in the beginning of the second half, that could have, because I think there was a couple of opportunities, not chances, but there were a couple of opportunities for us to be able to to create something. Unfortunately, we didn't, which is okay. We just we keep working.
I mean, it's all you can do. Listen, I don't know. It's tough, man. Like, there are these things, you don't want to have these games become habit. Again, I trust that they're not. If anything, Rising has been guilty of almost going too much of perhaps maybe the opposite route where it's end to end and they're wide open. And you do see, like, I will say they are consistently, I feel they are open within the midfield. You're mentioning, right, there's late tracking runs from Lexington, and it could have been more of the same. I do, though, think that if they're the type of club where it seems like they're going to try to win games by, not saying they're going to give up defensively, but if they're going to choose to try to win on a shootout, I do back them to at least kind of bring more firepower to the next match. I guess we'll have to see, but I don't see this happening again. But quote tweet this timestamp it when it happens.
Yeah, because Oakland's quite a good defensive side as of late, Max. So, yeah. Don't jinx it, Max.
That's fair. Well, and I was going to say that wasn't the only Rising person you heard from. Is that right?
No, we can have a little listen to Marga as well, talking about kind of the struggle in terms of creating chances this weekend.
I think we didn't get our advantage of what we have. Like, we train every day in this weather. They are not. I think when they scored the 1-0, they was a little bit shocked of themselves too, because I already saw in the first half that they were really tired and we didn't really use that in our advantage. So I think we need to do that better.
I think the thing that really stood out to me, though, watching that game is in the first half, Lexington looked, I think, tired during that game. I feel also Rising looked tired for most of that game as well.
Yeah.
And there were bits of energy later on, but just for so much of it, it looked like Rising was lethargic. Yeah. Really lethargic.
Yeah. I mean, we know how hot it is in this beautiful state of ours, but it's also, it's not to say
way too hot.
It's not going to say that it's not going to impact Phoenix Rising. Certainly not saying that, but it's also right. I mean, that is kind of the bit of the advantage of you train in this type of weather. You know at least what to expect. Again, you're a human. But I think to your point, seeing how, I think especially for this club, we have seen them earlier in the season get off to such slow starts. It's very difficult for them to come from behind, if they're looking to play this way, over the long term.
Yeah. And, we were talking about, as Owen mentioned, how Lexington looked sluggish. It felt like from minute 10, minute 15, that's when they just looked like they ran out of gas. And Rising just could never break them down, could never do anything to look like they had been training in this ridiculous summer heat for the last few months compared to Lexington. It was just quite the disappointment for me.
I mean, it's something that I said at the time and I tweeted at the time. Is you looked at the way the first half ended, and if that didn't encapsulate the entirety of Phoenix Rising's first half, whereby the ball goes out for a throw in a dangerous position, you got about 10 seconds just to knock a ball in, get it in there, see what you can do, because you are right, like in line with the 6-yard area, out wide on the left wing. And it's just like hobbling, slowly walking over to take the throw in and taking so long to get there that by the time you get there, Elton Garcia has the whistle to his lips already for halftime because there was no urgency to go and get that ball back into play and get maybe one last chance in before the break. And yeah, I understand. Obviously, you don't want to overexert yourselves necessarily in moments like that. But it just felt like everything that could have been wrong with that half was kind of captured in that one moment, and then it became a huff and puff later on as Phoenix Rising. Again, I mean, they did that last season a lot. This season we saw it against Tulsa. We saw it a bit against San Antonio. In a game that was quite poor as well. In the Jägermeister Cup, but it's just not good. I mean, to Kevin's point, they're not like we had not played a game in the Phoenix Heat for over a month. You're right, but you know what they do? They train out there every morning instead, and it is miserable, right?
Not the good kind.
I go out there for these. It is miserably hot. You feel it as soon as you step out there.
Yeah.
They've actually had to put extra shade in right now, close by the locker room building, just to put a bit more shade outdoors for when they're doing certain things. It is getting way too hot.
Yeah, feel that. And then also Kevin in the chat, Smith needs to learn to cross after beating first man after being the second and third man and running out the field.
All right, see, here's the thing.
Yeah,
he's not the only guy. He's not the only guy.
Yep.
I think there are other players on this team who also need to do this. Like, I mean, we were chatting earlier. Who's our best player so far? Bear in mind, it's halfway through the season right now.
Yes.
I think we all agree that the best player so far this season for Phoenix Rising has been Hope Aveyevu. And there's no question about it. But one thing that can frustrate me with Hope Aveyevu, and he does very similarly with those, right? He will sometimes decide he's going to drive with the ball. And when he drives with the ball, often you see him kind of maybe not take stock of all the options that are around him. And he tries to take too many guys on. And sometimes he wins fouls from it. And sometimes he just loses the ball.
Sure.
Now, he's a phenomenal player from dead ball positions. He is a very good player when he has to make quick decisions with the ball at his feet. But he often sometimes is one who, again, can sometimes try and take too many guys on, and it doesn't always work out right.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to see. Anything else from this match?
It ended. The fireworks were fun to watch, too. There were times where I was watching the fireworks more than the match because...
Right, not Rising's fireworks, by the way, of course. This was random people setting them off behind you.
Yeah.
There was that one spot with, like, that one...
Oh, yeah.
Miserable looking building with just sparks coming out of it behind us. And it wasn't until we saw sparks of different colors we were like, okay, they're fireworks.
Yeah, they were all
it
like
wasn't
white
just like
gold.
something sparking.
Very
worrying. Remember they had that big like propane fire outside the stadium before? Kind of felt like, were we about to see that again? I don't know. My thought on it, again, is very much, I think, the way I've been thinking for a while, that this team had a spell of really good results, I think, tricked you into thinking they were better than they were. I think the results weren't necessarily indicative entirely of the performance. I think the team rode their luck a little bit over that stretch. But I'd also flip that and say, to be fair, I feel like the early season results weren't as good as the performances were. The performances were better than the early season results. So to a degree, these things cancel each other out, right? As Pa-Modou Kah would say, and we've gotten kind of used to hearing this now in press conferences, it's football. But to me, the thing is, how long can they stay in this like slight kind of skid here, right? Again, they are a better team, I think, than what we witnessed last year. I do think that that's the case. But they've got 2 road games now. Oakland, Orange County. If this team...
Don't forget about the Jägermeister Cup matchup
No,
versus
that doesn't count this one. I'm only counting league games, not Jaeger. I'm only counting league games for this. 17 games, 21 points. Danny Stone. Rising at the moment, 15 games, 20 points. Is there a world whereby they only get 1 point or no points from the next 2 games?
It's possible.
There is a world where that's possible. The road games, they're not easy.
Yeah.
Do I think it's more promising, I think, what we're seeing than what we saw there? Yeah. Do I think that things are going to face the problems that they maybe faced off field at times last year? I don't see that at this point.
Yeah.
I don't see anything to tell me that that's going to happen. At the same time, the results overall aren't necessarily better than we were seeing last year. They may be. This team could win the next 2 games.
Good.
Well, but I don't know. We'll see.
We will have to see. We'll talk more about Rising's next road game on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. Yes. Well, you know, we're talking about competition. We're talking about friendly competition. Rising's trying to win. I'm trying to win. I'm going to be using friends at VMe. VMe, it is the first of its kind person-to-person betting app. Anyone, anything, any darn time.
You know what, though? When we say anyone,
Yes.
I'd like to be clear.
Yes.
Specifically,
Great
for Max Simpson.
Yes.
A guy like Max who runs that massive mouth
Okay, well,
of
hold on
his.
now.
Again, and you don't necessarily trust he's going to follow through.
Yeah.
But this is going to hold him accountable. Max, tell the people.
Vimy is fantastic. You can bet very much real life scenarios, person to person. For example, if I want to say, hey, I believe Rees can eat over under 2.5 hot dogs, take me on that one. I can do that on Vimy.
Well,
if people in the chat, if you want to place real money, you want to do a little $1, $2 wager of saying how many sips am I going to take of my giant water bottle within this, show of 60 minutes, we can very much do that as well. It's that easy to do with our friends at Vimy. Use the code PHNX when signing up. Available on the App Store and Google Play. Vimy, anyone, anything, any darn time. Also, shout out to our friends over at Shady Rays. Shady Rays, it's hot, it's summer, it's bright, it's Arizona, it is shade season. I'm rocking the wonderful pair of Shady Rays, these nice aviator-esque classics. Someone in the office, and I don't give them too much credit, but they said, quote, this is a pair of Max Simpson sunglasses. They're such a pair of Max Simpson sunglasses, and they look great.
Max loves the Shady Rays so much we started calling him Shady Max.
You can use code PHNX for 35% off your order. Again, polarized shades rated 5 stars or better by over 500,000 people. It's the best thing. I have multiple pairs of Shady Rays. Their lost and replacement policy is the best in the game out there. Again, Shady Rays look good doing it. They feel fantastic. So much better quality material than your other knockoff brands out there. ShadyRays.com, promo code PHNX for 35% off that order.
And you can trust him because, again, he's Shady Max.
I think I might keep these bad boys on because I'm blocking out the haters. You are the main one. We are back. PHNX Rising podcast.
I don't know. I mean, I think he's kind of shady, don't you?
Definitely.
Well,
he's very
you know
shady.
what's not
Shady,
shady?
you agree? Yeah,
not shady. I want to shout out Andrew. A little bit earlier in the chat, we got a $2 super chat from Andrew. Appreciate you. Hello, everyone. God bless. It's been a while, Andrew. Thank you very much for super chat. It was great having you back in here. It has been a minute, man. Welcome back. We're talking Oakland Roots. We're talking a very familiar
Tree FC.
Tree FC.
There are a few of them.
Tree Fitty SC. Yeah. Block Devonall. He gets time. Put him in timeout.
I don't think he needs to be put in timeout.
No, dude,
I think I'm gonna make him a moderator.
Yeah.
What? Well, okay.
Yeah, Max, that's not your call to make right here, mate. Because especially since Devon correctly points out that you are a shady person.
I like.
He's not given free beer in 2 years. He is right.
That is crazy.
You have not given out free beer.
When have you ever given out free beer ever? When have you
season.
ever given out free beer? Answer the people. Go. Answer the question. Go.
Well, I don't know, mate.
No.
Mate, when are you ever at away games? How would you know?
When is he ever
When
at
are you
home
at home
games?
games? How would he know?
Yeah.
That's
Max
crazy.
ain't even there.
That's crazy. Anyway, let's get back on topic.
Max shows up for the glory games like the Open Cup.
That is not true. I was there recently.
What game?
Wasn't that the most recent?
I think that was the most
I was
recent.
there one afterwards. Anyway,
I don't
James
See, the
Wilson.
chat are saying
I don't
free beer
believe
is
this
The chat is
right.
derailing us. We're back.
No. It's a good point. It's a good point.
That's crazy.
All I'm saying is, when Max was giving out beers, Phoenix Rising won a title. Right now, Phoenix Rising has had 2 games without getting a shot on target in different competitions this season.
Which
Max.
competitions?
One of them's the Jägermeister Cup, and the other one
thank
is
It's
just
almost-
the USL Championship.
It's
play.
almost like, are you trying to say, I'm Max Simpson and I want Phoenix Rising to win?
If Max Simpson wants Phoenix Rising to win, he's going to buy the people beers. I think that's science.
That's not correlated. That's not science.
It is.
That doesn't make sense.
Max, that's science.
The hypothesis is there. The
Correlation is not equal causation and vice
Max.
versa.
Well, no, because here's the thing, right? We are going
Wait, no,
to...
Kevin's right. Max only has free beer in championship games. Rising letting him down. That's right. I reserve. Rising go back to a championship. I'll buy the beer for the people.
Does a Jägermeister Cup final count?
If Rising make the Jägermeister Cup final, Max is going there and buying only
I'm going to Circle K.
associated products
Going to Circle K and doing it.
from Circle K.
That's fair.
He will purchase.
All right, I'll
from
steer
Circle
us. Yeah, and of course, James, a large polar pop reusable mug. Yeah, next time I see you,
Max,
100%.
Because you don't show up to games. Fill it with beer as well.
I got you. Oh boy! All right, let's get back on
It's in now
track
for months.
for once. Derailed FC. That's us. Oakland Roots. The next matchup, as Devon all put in the chat a little bit earlier.
Last one before the
It is
Jaeger
the-
Cup comes back
It
again.
is the matchup against Panos, the old familiar foe there.
Panos Armenakas.
Oakland Roots, they are, having a season, as they do. They are on the lower end of the table. But again, as you see this West so condensed, Oakland, even though they are in the bottom half, trickling towards, very bottom of the entire West, they're only 3 points behind Rising. Rising, in the middle of the pack, is only 5 points below New Mexico United, the first and last team in the entire West, only separated by 10 points. It is tight-knit. There is no one who has quite emerged himself. You look at form across the entire West, everyone is clunky. No one has had, you're looking at the winning streaks. Nothing really super significant in the last couple of matches. Actually, Lexington, who just beat Rising, is looking like the best informed team out of all of them, and Tulsa, of course, unbeaten in their last 5. But outside of that, right, Oakland Roots, yeah, they're coming off, 2 consecutive wins. Rising,
3 if you include the Jägermeister Cup match.
I was not. Rising, however, on their end, not as great form. Again, they're riding that 3 matches, haven't having won a match, 2 match losing streak. Gentlemen, we're looking at this Oakland Roots team. Who do we think is going to be the threat? Do we believe Panos Armenakas? Is this a Panos revenge game? We thought we were going to see one previously in last season.
He'll play in this game.
I know.
Unlike the Memphis game.
Do you think we're going to see the revenge
The man's
game?
starting to find form.
Oh, yeah?
Goal in his last game, assist in the game before, and not an assist, obviously, but a kind of set up an own goal as well in that game. The man's finding form.
Yeah.
He's ready.
So you think you think he's gonna have a little chip on his shoulder, perhaps?
Oh, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. And it's interesting as well because it's not just him. That's the interesting thing here. Obviously Benny is taking over the coaching reins there. He was actually a finalist for the job when Danny Stone got it. He actually came here in person for an interview. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Obviously, someone that Pa knows. We'll hear from him in a minute on that. But it's just an interesting one, I think, as a matchup as well. And I think they're turning things around just slightly under Benny, and it's looking better than it previously was there. I know it's not much in it. Obviously, the Western Conference is a bit of a free-for-all at the moment. But Oakland could get a result and overtake Rising. That's kind of where we're at right now. No, seriously though.
I know.
Remember, first tiebreakers head to head.
Oh boy.
Only team in the West Rising haven't played yet this season. Oakland Roots.
For Oakland, since Benny Feilhaber has came in, their defense has really, really tightened things up. They were one of the worst defenses in the league before he came in. In the 4 games he's managed, they've only conceded 1 goal, and that was to a good Colorado Springs Switchbacks team. The last 3 games, as I mentioned, all competitions, including the Jägermeister Cup, you combine all 3, it's like less than a goal and a half expected that they should be conceding.
Didn't they concede another one to Monterey Bay?
Did they?
Yeah, they won that game 2-1.
Oh, did they? Okay, well, 85th minute goal, game was put away, but still, defensively, they've really tightened up, and which hasn't quite gone to the attack yet. The attack hasn't taken a step forward. And a big part of that is their striker, Peter Wilson. He scored 3 goals, which isn't the best of marks, isn't bad. 15 games in, it's not great. But he's missed the most big chances in the league, 10 big chances. And normally you see good strikers at the top of the list because they're getting so many chances. Missing 10 big chances and only converting 3, not great.
Yeah. Not great, Bob.
Who's Bob?
You're too young. You're too young to get the reference. James Wilson in the chat. 1 win in the West can take you from like 8th to 5th. It's crazy how tight it is. 100%. Yeah, we do want a home match, right? They got to win these. Couple other pieces on Oakland Roots. By the way, just an all-time name, Wolfgang Prentice. What a name.
He's been around the league for a minute,
hasn't
he? Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Was he a Reno 1868 guy?
No, he's not.
Okay.
No. Not seeing any Reno players on here. Otherwise, I'd get a shout out.
He's an Oakland guy. He went to a few League One teams.
Lindo Mafeka. Oh, no, he's not there anymore. Never mind. Whoopsies. That was last season. Yeah. Anyone else from Oakland Roots who I don't believe could pose a threat to Phoenix Rising? If you're Phoenix Rising, you're looking at how these last goal matchups have gone. Again, you're trying to tighten up the midfield. You kind of saw a bit of a lethargic performance. Do you make any of those core changes to the defense or the midfield to shore things up?
From Rising's perspective, I don't know. I don't know who you.
We've been seeing Emmers got the start. I personally like. I don't hate rolling with him again. Seeing kind of if he can bring something different. I don't know what you change fundamentally. That's a tough part.
Well, the thing about it is it depends who's available. As well. Like, that's a big part here.
It does.
To me, I understand, right? So after the game, chatting with Pa-Modou Kah, and he says, well, Braxton wasn't dropped per se so much as he needed a bit of a break.
Yes.
He's been playing since July. He's a young player. It's a lot. Mentally, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You need to give these guys a bit of a break, and that's completely understandable. But to me, I don't know if I'd put him in that back line right now, or at least not as a centre-back. I don't think he's a centre-back. I think he's either a defensive midfielder of sorts or a left back more. He can do a job at centre back, but I don't think you're going to get the best out of him there. And I think there are other options you could go with. Now, I mean, Carl Saint is what he is. You're probably going to play him, I'd imagine. Probably look at putting a Sal in there as well. I don't know. It is kind of what it is.
I just would like to see Quajo back in the starting 11 because I think he brings more.
To give a little pop
over 90 minutes. Yeah,
give you a little bit of pop. Yeah,
but not pop. He's not pop. Don't get confused.
Pop on the way back though. Still not ready. I don't think yet, but on the positive direction.
That's fair.
Also, it's a great Andrew, by the way. It was actually 2021. They played RGV. It went to penalties.
Fair enough.
First round.
Yes. From the Phoenix Rising perspective, who on their side? Anyone who we think could make the difference? Right. Again, we've seen guys have a match back or two coming back from international duty and whatnot. Still building some of that continuity. We've seen even with Jearl some sparks here and there from the last match. What do we think?
I think from my perspective, right, I've seen a lot of positivity around the way the team ended it when you bring on guys like Isan Sako and I understand that to a degree. I just have to kind of say in that one that I think there's always going to be an element of it looking better when you bring forwards off the bench. They're going to have more, energy relative to the amount of time they're out on the field. Same applies to DJ as well, who can be a bag of pace and really problematic to deal with, I think, if you bring him on at the right time. But to me, and the DJ thing, by the way, I don't think is necessary. I don't know. We're not sure. It was downplayed by Pa-Modou Kah after the last game a little bit. I think as I look at this team, I understand the limitations of the lineup they put out there at the start of it, but I also think that people are overhyping, I think, the way it changed for the better later on. I mean, you still have to an extent, consider the output, and the output was nothing. And I'm not talking about goals scored there. I'm talking about was this team even able to create shots on target? And they still weren't even after changes. So I don't know. There's a balancing act there. There is a balancing act there in terms of how much you can overhype, I think, a late.
I get that.
Yeah.
I think anyone, especially in that heat, they're going to come on for the last, 15, 30 minutes, regardless of the interval. I think it's right. You're going to be a little bit fresher than some of the others. Well, we got a little bit more, talk about more analysis, even some video clips on the other side of the break regarding this match. Don't go anywhere. Hats off to this next part of our friends at Brandon Bills. And really,
this guy, hang on.
Hats on.
Hang on.
Am I right? Brandon Bills.
Hang on. For a starter, Max, that is atrocious. Max, can I weigh in, please? Give me a second. Just notice how he's brought his own hat this time because he's fed up of us trying to stick the Wildcats hats on him.
Shane also would. Shane.
Shane might agree with that.
They were trying to put on a U of A hat.
Yeah,
he
Max doesn't love the partners.
That's
the thing.
That's
like,
insane.
Shane, can you at least appreciate our position here?
He's just not even. He's not taking the bait. Brandon Bills. They have the amazing headwear again. We have the collab or PHNX Brandon Bills collab. Absolutely fantastic. Make sure to go get some in the locker today. Right, Brandon Bills. Go to brandonbills.com. Use promo code BBPHNX for 15% off that order. Again, they have all the different types. Of course, they have ASU as people often say. They have the charity work at U of A. They have Suns merch. They have everything. They have multiple universities throughout the country, even if that's your forte. I know we have multiple friends throughout in this chat. Make sure to get it today. BrandonBills.com, promo code BBPHNX for 15% off your order. Also, check out our friends over at Chicken and Pickle. Chicken and Pickle. Listen, you're going out to Glendale. You're going on the west side. It is the place, the darn place to be. If I always say this, and it's so darn true, if there is a place that is for pickleball and it has chicken in the name, then the food must be good. And it really is. They have amazing food, great beers, TVs everywhere, indoor and outdoor pickleball. It is hot outside, so this is the time to get some exercise inside. We have done multiple tournaments there. It is nice and air conditioned. And guess what? You can join us at another PHNX pickleball tournament, July 26th. Make sure to go to gophnx.com/events to register. And of course, see us there at our friends at Chicken and Pickle. It is the place to go. Visit chickenandpickle.com to plan your visit today. Again, make sure to go to our website, gophnx.com, and you can join in on our annual pickleball tournament.
Rees, did you notice he got the sport right this time?
What'd I say?
Oh, he did. Yeah.
Last week, Max was going golfing at Chicken and Pickle, and I'm not sure how that would go, but he was convinced he was going for a golf tournament.
I say things. We're back.
You do say a lot of things, Max.
Unfortunately,
that's why we call you Shady Max.
That's crazy. We're back.
That's why we call you Shady Max.
Back.
He's putting the glasses back on because he's just had enough of us now.
I've had enough for you for a while, to be fair. We're back.
Poor Max.
Rising Podcast. Well, first, let's break up the sound of us talking. I believe, Owen, you got a clip for
a little bit on Oakland under Benny from Pa.
Let's do it.
Well, obviously, I've coached against Benny. I've played against Benny. So for me, I expect a team that is going to work hard, a team that is that has confidence, but also we are a team that really going away, playing away, and we're going to do our best, which is what we do always in all games. Go in there, trying to get 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, first off, comments we're talking about Benny Feilhaber. I mean, one of the more underrated U.S. men's national team players. What if you know? He was a longtime U.S. men's national team player. He was one of those guys who never really he wasn't a big stats guy, but enjoy watching him. Also, Ramon shouting that out. And applied for Rising Jumps Don't Go. Also,
Indeed,
Ramon also randomly asking us, what is he was asking us, specifically you as well. What's your favorite hip hop artist?
I don't have an answer, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I don't have an answer, genuinely.
That's fair.
Thanks.
Yeah, Devin, we'll get to the U.S. men's national team a little bit later.
Max, answer the Ramon question. Come on.
I think the web says MC Hammer was there. Can I touch this? Okay. I want to get it copyrighted.
He is.
Yeah. He's born in Oakland.
What can I say?
Good for you, Max.
I do.
Max took a gamble on that one.
Do my thing.
Yeah, that could have ended very poorly.
That could have ended very badly.
I mean, listen, I think this is one, especially when you're playing an opponent who they're kind of not doing as hot within the table. Rising is coming off of, a bit of a mini losing streak on their end. I think you got to start out hot. I mean, especially as you've seen over the last couple of matches where Rising just has not done this, where you've seen their penchant for starting slow throughout bits of this season. You have to come off on the front foot and take it to them. I mean, it's very cliche to say that, but I very much think this is one of those matches, especially as you're playing away from home, especially knowing how those matches are going to go. The first 15 minutes to me very much can dictate how Rising play. I mean, even the first 5 or 10, even just from pure energy levels, right? We're talking about, are you kind of walking over to take a throw in, or are you kind of, having a little nice quick jog over there? What is the pressure? What is the pressing looking like? Those little things, especially with that you're not as much in the intense Arizona heat, I want to see a bit more of that uptick.
Oakland's also really bad at home comparatively to the rest of the league. I mean, they've only won twice this season at home. So when you're playing, I know it's the Oakland Coliseum, the historic Oakland Coliseum now. But when a team struggles at home like that, they're going to be in their own heads and trying to get out of it. But I just think, as you said, Max, they need to get their foot on the gas pedal from the get-go. There's no waiting until the second half, no waiting until the 20th minute to ramp things up. They really have to start, which we've seen at times this season, but just need to see over an extended period.
Yeah, but I'd also say that things are getting better at home for them, and that's a big part. There's kind of a delineation of the eras of this team, even within a season, right? When you've got a new coach come in, and you look at it now, right? One's in the Jaeger, one's in the league. They've won now 2 games on the bounce at home.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure that home hangover is necessarily hanging over them right now.
Nice.
I feel as though, in a lot of ways, they're kind of getting over it, aren't they?
They're sobering up.
I mean, even the game before that, they drew 0-0 at home against El Paso. Yeah, no, they haven't been on too much of the Jägermeister Cup.
It's just crazy. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Well, I think it's about that time. I mean,
Score predictions. Max, go first.
Let me do my thing.
This is ridiculous, Max. Do you really need your sunglasses for a score prediction?
We've done crazier things in the pod.
In his mind,
I'm going to go with this is a gentleman's 1-1.
1-1?
Yeah.
Who's your goal scorers? Both teams.
Panos ain't scoring. That's no disrespect. I don't know. There's only 11 guys who start. Maybe 10 if you don't include the goalkeeper is going to score. Although you never know. Maybe guys come off the bench. I just don't think he's going to be one of them. Oakland, I'm going to leave as is. Give me you know what? Emmer scores. New guy. Opens up his account.
I'm going to go 1-1 also, but I'm going to go Panos, and I'm going to go Hope.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go 2-2 then.
Boy. We're all going for draws.
Draw FC.
Yeah.
Hey, Shane, you want a score prediction here?
Devin Booker just got extended. I can't. Sorry.
Shane is the guy.
4-0.
Oh, dear.
Oakland.
Oh,
bad guy. Chat, let us know as well what you're dropping in here with them score predictions. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of looking at the table, seeing where things are leaving. You already kind of mentioned it a little bit, but again, it's tight within the table. These are those types of matches. You're looking at Rising, the upcoming opponents, where that factors in. It's Oakland away. It's El Paso away. It's Orange County away. Granted, the El Paso.
The scores a minute. Hang on.
Granted, the El Paso. That's going to be in the Jägermeister Cup. But what?
Just going to read some of the score predictions.
Go for it.
1-1 draw, says James Wilson, but could also see Rising winning 2-1.
Yes.
Rising wins, says Devon. 1-1, says Kevin.
Yes.
1-0, Rising, says Albert. 2-0 win for Phoenix, says Andrew. So lots of score predictions.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, Rising 3 consecutive matches on the road. Again, this is, even though one of them is for the cup, sandwiched in the middle, this is one where, again, it's not going to be hyperbole. We're not going to say, oh, the season rides on this. But like, this is like, some people are saying, like, this is like the margin of like, this is where you can really help your footing. This is where, if you're looking to get that elusive hosting that home playoff match for the first time in years, these are the type of matches where you need to win on the road, because it's just, man, you just got to get it done. You just got to get it done. You got to be able to get a point. We're all predicting draw, except for Shane, Debbie Downer, but also busy. Right? You got to be able to take care of business where you can, especially, again, these matches are not played on paper. We have seen Rising, I don't even say they play to their level of competition, but they almost play inverted to the level of competition. We have seen them walk in matches where they really, you'd think on paper they're not supposed to win. Away to San Antonio, away to New Mexico on short rest. They go in and they win relatively comprehensively, but then they go and they're at home to a lowly, Lexington team that they're going in Oakland Roots. Yes, they're turning a corner a bit, but like, you got to win these matches. Like, you got to be able to, good teams are able to write their own narrative and beat the teams that they should, plain and simple.
Yeah, I'd agree.
What else we got? Got anything else, guy?
Anything else on this game, Reese?
Hopefully it's more entertaining than last week's, or I will be taking a nap.
It's going to be chilly.
What are you, a meteorologist?
The weather forecast for Oakland is not warm. I'll put it that way.
Max, will you be there?
Why do they call meteorologists if they don't really talk about meteors ever?
Well, let's look up the Latin roots of it.
So it's a 7 o'clock kickoff, of course, for Rising. The temperature in Oakland expected to be about 64 degrees Fahrenheit at 6 o'clock.
Oh, it's actually
Greek.
On
Saturday.
It's based
dropping
off the Greek
to
word
58
meteor.
by 9 p.m. when the game will be finishing. So compare that to the temperatures here in the valley. It's going to be quite chilly.
The root word of meteorology is the Greek word meteoron. It originally referred to anything high in the sky.
Welcome to the PHNX Etymology Podcast.
That's it.
Thank
We were talking
you.
about geography last week. It's meteorology this week. Well, we have a little U.S. men's national team and Gold Cup / Club World Cup finisher
And
on the
Euros?
other side of the and women's Euros don't go anywhere. Oh boy. All right. Well, I'm gonna our friends over at Gila River Resorts Casinos. That is
Max is composing himself. He's doing this for the partners. Come on, Max. Do it
as
for
I
the
always
partners.
do, is the place to be for everything around town, especially you're trying to go watch a game. Again, there's multiple competitions going on within the beautiful game, as we mentioned, all of them, every single one that I mentioned organically myself, right? You can watch all of them at Gila River Resorts Casinos, one of the 4 locations throughout the valley. A wonderful atmosphere, hosted multiple events. We have some I'm going to break some, well, I'm not going to fully break the news, but just be on the lookout. We have some other football, the football that Owen doesn't like, the American football, around the corner at their Wild Horse Pass, their upper deck location. But until then, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details on all the fun stuff they have, right? We have multiple hosts staying there, doing overnight stays. The food is fantastic. The hospitality is amazing. Big gaming floor. Shane is a massive fan of the Panda. I am too, even though I find the wrong one, but it's a great time. Gila River, there is no other place to be. Also, shout out to friends over at Bet365. How many people do you think use Bet365 worldwide, Mr. Owen Evans? Take
Quite a lot.
Give a guess.
Big number.
This guy sucks. 90 million users worldwide.
It's a lot of people.
90 million users. Again, I'm doing my Max Simpson parlay on this thing, right? They're absolutely fantastic. They really do.
Don't do a Max Simpson
Well, don't do a
parlay.
Max
He
Simpson
loses
parlay.
every
Fade
time.
Max. Fade Max as they do in the office. But Bet365, truly, they do have some of the best soccer props within the game. Again, a lot of these other betting apps, not quite the same. It's maybe not as well versed as I'm pulling up, frantically trying to look at it. Right, Bet365, they got this stuff for you. Again, make sure to open an account. Win or lose, get $150 in bonus bets when you place $5. That was a word. Again, place $5 bet, get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up using promo code PHNX365. That easy. Again, must be 21 years or older, physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.com, az.com.
Phoenix Rising slight favorite, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They know. I'll take that. Well, actually, no. I picked a draw.
1-1, that 1-1 correct
Give
score
me a
at
draw.
plus 550, did you know?
Oh, I'll put down $5. You know what happened?
You lose $5.
Stop
Max.
it. That's not it. You are not 21 or older. You don't
Max
know how it
Simpson
works.
losing money on bets. There's a shocker.
All right. We're back. PHNX Rising Pod. Let's talk about let's get the elephant out of the room. And Ramon, if you're we're all gonna be happy. We're all gonna be happy. It's US, Mexico. All right, here's the thing. Are Mexico the kings of CONCACAF? I've seen the debate going on.
Well, they've won the Nations League and the Gold
I know.
Cup, but who cares?
The Gold Cup 2 times in a row.
It's tough. Yeah.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny?
Is it
no,
Poncho? Are we Poncho?
Ramon was giving me this argument
Yes.
at the, before the game on
Yes.
Friday,
Yes.
before the Rising game
Yes.
on Friday,
Yes.
and you're saying, both Mexico and the U.S. have done the same thing in the World Cup every time, pretty much.
Yes.
So we're pretty much equal. Who cares about the Nations League? Who cares about the Gold Cup?
What?
I'm just saying.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, man. The U.S. came out early.
Didn't they play a 16-year-old against you?
Yeah, they did.
Youngest ever
Yeah, it's
player
pretty
to
crazy.
win a
That's
continental
like,
final.
oh my
I
gosh,
think
it's
it
almost
is,
half
or
my age. That's disgusting. Wow, I feel ancient. You'll get there one day.
Yeah, like 40 years.
Okay, that's wait. How? What
Max is old.
I'm not like 60, bro. That's
Max
crazy.
is the old man of the pod.
Really?
That would make me 60. That's
You're not?
Stop it. You're a
Max
child.
is the old man of the podcast.
I am. Don't
Or would
forget.
that make Rees -20 or -10?
Hey. Yes.
Can confirm
Yes, it
Rees
would.
has been born, so that's not possible.
Has he? Anyway, U.S. men's national team start out hot, set piece goal. Really didn't get quite back in. Raul Jimenez with an absolute top-end banger. And, it was just a kind of a slugfest here and there. It just feels like, U.S. I'm hearing a lot of narratives of, they found their fight. And, this feels like the team of old. Even if they were missing some of the stars, they had that talent. It's just, I don't know, man. I understand.
What, the US?
I just don't. I don't buy that.
I think
I don't buy
big
that.
you
part
have
of
to
it,
pass Costa Rica on penalties and
Dude,
barely beat
I know.
Guatemala.
I also hate the U.S. narrative, and I get it. There are other countries who've been doing this for a while, and blah blah blah. And their recruitment, you are developing players at a younger age and have more overseas talent and everything now. To where I hate that our narrative is, oh yeah, but we run a lot. It's that's not an identity. That's not an identity that I'm trying to go off.
Brendan Aronson made a living off it.
I'm not saying it's nothing. It's just you have to combine skill. Otherwise, that's not going to cut it at the World Cup level.
I also think, it's been an issue the whole tournament, but Poch and his substitutions.
Oh my gosh,
are a little bit ridiculous at times.
Is Rees calling for Berhalter back?
That's all I've heard.
Is Rees calling for Berhalter back?
Going with two up top at any point in time when your strikers are Damian Downs, who I quite rate. I think he'll be something in the future, and Patrick Ajimon.
Southampton transfer.
Patrick Ajimon, bless him.
Oh, you love him.
He runs and works.
Right, I'm killing this off before it gets
Sometimes.
any further, Kevin. There are really good reasons in law why that wouldn't be a
I
penalty.
think it's
here we
so
go,
stupid.
IFAB.
I
also
think
gonna
we've
say
lost
this.
the
I'm
plot
also-
with the handball rule. I really think we have.
But it's also the nature of the way it's written.
I think we've lost the plot. I think.
But I'm also going to say this.
I know, it's-
right?
it's
when we
correct.
talk about this, what advantage does he get from it?
he stops
Because
the ball. The
There's
ball
not
stops.
a US player anywhere near
But it
it.
stops. The ball stops. I think that.
What advantage does he get
Well,
from it?
again, I just think
Is that
if your
is it
hand touch. When
proportionate
I was
to have a
young,
penalty
I was
for that?
taught with
Is it
this sport.
proportionate to have a
If
penalty
your
for that?
hand touches the ball, that's not allowed. He touches.
Yeah, because that's what you tell 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's the same
It's
as when
the
they tell them
core
things
tenet
in
of the game.
science when you're 6. That's
just
not how
think
it really is.
If you're stopping the ball like
Is
that, and he's
it?
not falling that way. He leans that way. I think it's just the
Right,
most
this guy is
ridiculous thing
out
ever.
there, this stuff I was told in my high school biology class is exactly how the world works.
I just
And then
think
the minute he's confronted
if
with
you
something
touch it like that,
a-
I just think that's dumb. I just think it's stupid.
Yes,
you're
pounds your
not.
body weight.
He's falling. He's falling, and he reaches for the ground.
I also think it's the way that rule's written is meant if you're falling and someone just whacks the ball at your arm, that's how it's meant to be interpreted. I just don't think that's the way it's meant to be.
Rees, who
I
writes
think
the
that's
laws?
stupid. I just think that's flat
Who
out
writes
stupid.
the laws, Rees?
I don't care who writes
Then
the
how
law.
are you going
I
to
think
comment on
it's
what they
stupid.
mean by it?
I just think it's all stupid. I don't think you should be able to
say you
stop
don't
the
like
ball
it
with
being
your
that way.
hand and get away with it. That's just
But
stupid.
here's the thing. Okay, let me change the scenario a bit. Let's say his hand doesn't land on top of the ball; it kind of goes by the side of the ball, and still catches it as he goes down.
Well,
do you
then
think there's the same thing here? Because ultimately, I don't see any fundamental difference in the scenario. All we're talking about is if the ball was like mine. And handball isn't handball, Kevin. It's literally written in there. Not every touching of the ball with the hand is a handball offence. It's written in there. That's the point. You're right, handball is handball, but that's a tautology. The problem is, what is a handball offence? And the simple answer here is that it's not by virtue of hitting the hand a handball offence, or the hand hitting the ball a handball offence.
You gotta love it.
I still think we've lost the plot with the handball.
Yeah,
rule.
it's
we've
it's
gone
a tough man. It
But
would,
see, you can have that opinion, but it's not wrong in law to not give it.
it's weird that
I agree.
It's,
The way
it's-
the law's written, that's correct. But I just think that's terrible.
It's a weird way to say I do agree that a penalty should have been awarded, but it's a weird thing to say it was a clear and incredibly obvious handball inside the box that is not even going to go to VAR, even if I do agree with the decision that was made on field. It's just weird to say out loud. Albert in the chat, coming from a Chelsea fan, Patrick Ajimon is a discount Nico Jackson. Buddy, that is unfortunately sounds true, and my goodness, that is rough. What else? Anything else? We're not pouch out. We're unified as a pod. Potch in, keep him there.
I mean,
in all
you're not
seriousness, there's
sacking
there's
the
there's gonna be
slate,
the
that's
friendlies.
thing.
It's just a weird cycle.
Kevin,
when you're not
it's
up
a
qualifying.
handballing. No,
All right,
it's-
we can spend the
Kevin, it's the same laws of
my
the
gosh.
game. The laws of the game are the same, Kevin. Here's the question. Does he deliberately touch the ball with his hand?
I do think so.
I don't think he does.
I think he
They
does.
slow it down so much that it makes it look far more deliberate than it is.
I think the way he's falling, I think he should fall a little bit more right. I just don't think.
I mean, I don't know if you
think
can
the
tell
fact that his
someone how to
palms
fall.
on the
I
top.
don't think that's right.
The fact that his palms on the top of the ball, that's what just I struggle to believe you
Touches
fall
the ball with their
accidentally
hand arm
like
and has
that.
made their body unnaturally bigger, which unnaturally bigger means when the position of the hand arm is not a consequence of or justifiable by the player's body movement for the specific situation. His arm's reaching down because he's falling. You reach down to shield, kind of catch yourself as you go down to hit the ground.
Yes. Well, moving on. Unless we can have another hour of this penalty handball discussion. In the FIFA Club World Cup, Owen's favorite competition.
I haven't watched.
That is fair. You got Chelsea.
I haven't watched.
Real
You have
Madrid
Chelsea advancing yesterday. A 2-0. Honestly, pretty comprehensive against Fluminense.
with the easiest run to a final I think I've
My
ever seen.
word, Cupcake City. Yeah, Damon, you should be sick of yourself. And then PSG against Real Madrid. Absolute thumping today. 4-0. I saw, absolutely getting cooked. Absolutely getting
PSG's
cooked.
the best team in the world.
He's still going in
Without
the
doubt.
chat right now.
We're
Kevin,
just leave it.
Kevin.
Hey,
PSG
again, touches the ball with their hand/arm when it has made the body unnaturally bigger.
Chelsea,
Not
PSG.
every touch of the ball of the arm.
PSG's going to win that like 3-0. PSG's the best team in the world.
And then you know what's
without
going
a
to
doubt.
happen. Again, PSG is going to win. And again, don't worry, we'll bring it back down to earth in the Super Cup. Spurs,
Yeah. Where's that?
Where is that?
Yeah. Because they always play it in random
To be fair, I
places.
actually don't know. It's somewhere random, I think. But yeah, Chelsea PSG, you got 3-0. Okay. Anyone else weigh in? Yeah, I think it'll be relatively competitive for like the first half, and then yeah, I did see that. That was a tough collision.
How's Wales doing?
Well, in the women's Euro, not good, but we didn't have any expectations.
Oh yeah,
We've never qualified for this tournament before, and all our best players are in their 30s. Jess Fishlock scored today. She's 38.
we
were never going to do well at
men's
that
team
tournament.
gave up a horrible goal too. Don't worry. Yeah, let's see a couple of scorelines from the women's Euros as well. England drubbing 4-0 against the
After
Dutch.
losing to France.
That is fair. Yeah, Rees, how do you feel about that? England doing things.
I think we're robbed against France,
Okay,
but
there we go.
played good.
How?
That offside?
It was offside.
Oh, come on. That's
It's
ridiculous.
offside.
That's ridiculous.
It's
But
okay.
Reese, you've
France
got to
beat
draw
Wales.
a line at some point, and the semi-automated technology
I
draws
think
the line.
I think that's ridiculous. I do.
But you've got to draw the line at some
What is
point.
it?
Because here's the thing. If you move the line, people will still just argue over, oh my God, it was only over the line by like a millimeter, so why does it matter?
Well, I just don't. I mean, it was her arm that was offside, wasn't it?
No, it was his shoulder.
Oh, what?
Bend the
Again,
rules
I
to
still
what's
think that's
convenient for you.
dumb.
But no, the shoulder is part of the body
Yeah.
you play the ball with. Again, the reason why is because she's leaning like her whole body there, whereas the defender has got the arm out, but it's the arm, not the shoulder.
Terrible.
It's marginal.
Robbery.
It really is marginal. But
Give me a winner.
We'll beat Wales to get through.
of what, the Women's Euro?
Yeah, give me a winner.
Ooh. Let me remind myself of the different groups. Let's have a look.
Okay,
Let me
ready?
Just remind myself.
Ready. What do we got?
Reese, what are you
Spain.
thinking?
It's probably Spain.
He's going Spain.
I
Too
mean,
easy.
realistic.
Everyone's gonna pick Spain.
Yeah, but realistically, who else do you go?
In
honestly,
fairness, they're scoring for fun right
Yeah.
now. They beat Portugal 5-0. They beat Belgium
No.
6-2.
they'll come down to earth. Give me Sweden. Give me the Swedes.
Nah,
You're going to England, right?
I'm going Spain.
They may not
No,
advance out
I'm
of the
going
group.
Spain. I'm going Spain.
Going
England
Spain.
aren't guaranteed to get out
That's
of
what
the
I'm
group at
saying.
this
They're
point.
not.
That's true.
Titus won. France, England, and the Dutch.
Nothing will make
all
me
kinda in
laugh
there.
more than us scraping any kind of result against the English while the Dutch beat the French to then knock England out. That would be hilarious. Speaking of which, by the way, speaking of hilarious, I believe, it's a good time to
Don't do
remind
this.
people to drink water.
Okay,
and
don't
what's
do
the
this.
best way to
Going
remind
to Circle
people
K.
to drink water?
Going to Circle K, getting your own Polar Pop.
Oh, look at that. It's a picture sent in of our very own Mr. Max Adman Simpson.
That is not drawn to scale.
I
at
think
all.
it's absolutely to scale.
You are
Look how
saying
big
that the
that-
water
that's-
bottle is
You know what this guy
larger than
does?
me.
You know what this guy does? This guy comes in here with his empty water bottle every day.
That's not
Comes in
true.
to fill it up so that we
That's
don't have
not
any
true.
water in the office anymore.
That's not true.
He's responsible for that. He
That's not-
does this.
That's not true at all.
Reese, doesn't he do this?
That's not true.
Have you seen that has run out of water here before?
I have.
And do you think it's
And
because of
I
Max
felt
Simpson?
the
What in
parchment.
the-
I've
okay.
suffered as a
That's-
result of Max.
No, that's just not true. Okay. I see what Shane's doing. I don't like it. Don't do that. Don't pub. Okay, he did it. All
I'm
right.
glad. Now, see,
Yeah.
here we go. Now we have an accurate representation of what's going
It's
on.
not accurate. You can clearly see. Oh gosh, that actually kind of looks pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not that big. It's perfectly normal size. It's only 100 ounces. There is a 140 ouncer that Sam needs to buy me because I want to upgrade.
Whoa,
Okay, hold on.
What do you mean? by-
Stop it. It means it's okay. That's insane. Stop following me. Kevin says Max takes all the ice. No, I don't. And you know what? Here's what you do. I go to my local Circle K, I fill up on gas, I'm an Inner Circle member, they treat me like royalty. I go in, I buy some soft drinks, I buy a nice
That's it for the PHNX
I buy a nice
podcast today. Thank you for
I
joining
fill
us.
up on the
We'll
water for
be
the free.
back
Oh my
next
gosh, you
Wednesday,
broke
as
the
usual.
mic. Almost broke the mic. Anyway, this has been another episode of the PHNX Rising podcast. Of course, you can follow the show at PHNX__Rising, double the underscore. I'm going to say it this time.
Double the size
water.
of the water ball. Look at it. It's getting
that's
bigger.
insane.
It's getting bigger.
This is terrifying. You can follow me on Twitter at MaxDavidSimpson. You could follow Owain doesn't deserve to follow Rees.
Rees is about to be covered up by the water bottle soon.
Okay,
Max's
stop it
water
now.
bottle
You can follow on
keeps
Twitter.
growing.
You
Look
can
at
follow
this.
Rees on Twitter.
Look
Rees
at this.
11_.
We're not done yet, Max. Calm down. It's taking over. Rees is gone.
What is happening? You can follow Shane on Twitter. You can follow Shane on Twitter. Oh my gosh, this is terrifying. We'll be back if the water bottle has not consumed us.
Always has.
Always has.
Max emptying his water jug and it triggers the monsoons. We'll be back next week at 6 p.m. But until then, it's a beautiful game, but it's way more beautiful when
Max doesn't steal all the office water. Good night.
We all silly like the mayor.